I was going to propose to her. Instead, she asked for a break, and vanished into the arms of someone else. What happened next shocked everyone and changed my life forever. It was late 2023 when Rachel sat me down at our favorite ramen place, the one with the warm lighting and our names etched into a shared table from a year ago. I thought we were just grabbing dinner. Instead, she told me she needed space, a break. I froze. I was working double shifts to put a down payment on a place for us. I thought I was building something real. I didn't even tell her why I'd been so tired and distracted. I wanted it to be a surprise. But her eyes were already somewhere else. I later found out that someone new had started working in her department. His name? Mark. I only knew this because she had talked about him every single day. Then, like a light switch, she stopped. That silence told me more than she ever did. I couldn't handle staying in the same city. Every alley, every park bench, every store had her fingerprints on it. So, I took the money I'd saved for our future and used it to start over somewhere far away. I changed cities, jobs, everything. But Rachel? She followed. 3 months into my new life in Cincinnati, I finally started to breathe again. I found an apartment that didn't echo her laughter, a job that didn't remind me of the one I quit because I couldn't bear seeing her face every day, and a routine that numbed the ache. Then she showed up at the park. It was a Tuesday morning. I had just finished a run and stopped for water near a dog fountain. That's when I heard her voice. Soft. Too familiar. Jake? She said like we were old friends who accidentally bumped into each other, not like she was the reason I'd uprooted my entire life. I didn't respond. Not at first. My pulse was already pounding, and not from the run. I turned around slowly. There she was. Rachel. Standing there with a coffee cup and a cautious smile, like none of this was out of place. I didn't get a chance to talk to you at the party, she offered. She meant the Christmas party back home, the one where I'd barely looked at her. Just a glance across the room. She had laughed at something, and for a second, I felt everything crash back in. I told her I didn't want to talk. That it still hurt too much. That seeing her, hearing her, thinking about her, it felt like yanking a knife from a wound that never fully healed. She said, "That's exactly why we should talk." But I walked away. After that, she tried twice more. Once outside my office. Once outside the grocery store near my building. The second time, she left a handwritten note on my windshield. "Can we please have just one honest conversation?" I tore it in half without reading the rest. Then I learned the truth. She had moved here. To my city. Supposedly for a job at her uncle's logistics company. But the timing? Too perfect. The proximity? Too intentional. My friend Hannah, who still worked back at the old company, texted me. "You didn't hear this from me, but Rachel knew where you moved. And she took the job anyway." That was the twist I didn't see coming. So I did something I hadn't done before. I blocked her. Phone. Email. Every channel. I even told my friends, don't mention her. Don't pass along messages. If she shows up again, I'll call security. Some said I was being cruel. Others said I was protecting myself. But here's the thing, you don't get to break someone's heart, chase a shiny new connection, and then come crawling back when that sparkle fades. You don't get to parachute into my new life after detonating my old one. But that's not all. A week later, Rachel's parents reached out. They wanted to talk. The voicemail from her mother was short, almost rehearsed. "Jake, sweetheart, it's Olivia. We'd really appreciate just a few minutes of your time. Please, call me back when you can." I didn't want to call. Every instinct told me to let it die there. But I'd always liked her parents. They were kind, respectful, even when Rachel and I split the first time. And a part of me, I hate to admit it, wanted to believe maybe someone in that tangled mess still saw me. So I called. Rachel's father, Henry, answered and immediately put me on speaker. "Jake," he said, his voice heavy with something close to shame. "We owe you an apology." The words hung there. They told me they hadn't known what was going on until recently. Rachel had kept it vague, said I'd disappeared, grown distant, stopped investing in the relationship. Only when they visited her in Cincinnati did they realize she had been chasing me, not moving on with her life. She told us you were the one who needed closure, Olivia added. She told us, Henry interrupted gently, that she might have made the biggest mistake of her life. They weren't asking me to take her back. In fact, they said they told her to stop, to seek therapy, to move on. That conversation with them gave me something I didn't even realize I needed: validation. It reminded me of a moment from years earlier, something small but formative. When I was 16, my first girlfriend broke up with me right before homecoming. Said I was too intense. I stayed home that night, pretended I was sick. My mom never asked why I suddenly hated every song on the radio. She just made me tea and said, "You care too deeply. That's your greatest gift, and your greatest curse." I never forgot that. Because now, years later, here I was again, caring too deeply. Still trying to make sense of why people leave and expect you to wait. Rachel didn't just hurt me by falling for someone else. She hurt me by making me feel like my love was disposable. Like all that effort, all the plans, all the sacrifice, it was background noise to a newer, shinier voice. And now? Now she wanted to talk because her new guy didn't stick around? I thanked her parents for the call. I told them I respected them. That they didn't owe me anything. And I meant it. But what I didn't say out loud, what I couldn't say, is that I no longer trust my heart in the hands of people who only realize your worth when someone else fumbles it. As I hung up, I stared at the photo still magnet pinned to my fridge, the one of me and Rachel at the beach, wind in our hair, the day I first thought, she might be the one. I should have ripped it down months ago. But that night, I finally did. And just when I thought things were settling down, a mutual friend reached out with a message from Rachel, one that changed everything. It was a rainy Friday night when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I let it ring, thinking it was a spam call, until a text popped up moments later. "Jake, it's Hannah. I need to tell you something. Can we talk?" Hannah. My old coworker. My confidant back when all of this was unraveling. The one who once said, "I think you already know the answer, you're just waiting for someone to confirm it." I called her back. She didn't waste time. Rachel spoke to me. She said to tell you she knows why you're refusing to talk. I stayed quiet. She said she understands now. That you were working overtime to propose. That you were planning a future, and she didn't see it until it was too late. I clenched my jaw. This wasn't news. I'd already heard it all before, sort of. But Hannah's voice had that tense pitch people get when they're about to drop a bomb. "There's more," she said. And then it came. She didn't just take a break because of Mark. She was planning to leave you completely, permanently. He wasn't just a coworker. He asked her to move in. She was considering it. The break was supposed to be the clean exit. I felt like I had been sucker punched. She didn't tell me that back then. Hannah continued. Only after it all blew up. Mark ghosted her after 3 months. Told her he couldn't trust someone who leaves so easily. And now she's circling back. But it's not just regret, Jake. It's survival. Silence. I wanted to scream. I wanted to laugh bitterly. Mostly, I wanted to ask, what kind of person has a Plan B boyfriend, then tries to circle back like they never left? I didn't say anything to Hannah. Not for a long while. Eventually, I muttered, "Thanks for telling me. But that chapter is closed." "Is it?" she asked gently. "Because she's still trying to write in the margins." I hung up soon after. That night, I walked to a small bar a few blocks from my apartment. I sat alone at the counter and ordered something strong. There, in the reflection of the mirror behind the bar, I saw myself differently, less of a heartbroken ex and more of a man finally putting the fire out. But even then, something was crawling under my skin. Because while Rachel was the one who fractured us, I couldn't deny a truth that had been rotting inside me. I had wanted her back. Even after the break. Even after I moved. Even after the silence. Some twisted part of me still wanted to believe that love could undo betrayal. But now I saw it for what it was, not love but habit. Not hope but echo. So I texted Hannah one last time. Please don't relay any more messages. I'm done rereading the past. And then, just when I thought the final stone had been turned, a knock came at my door the next morning. Rachel. In person. There she was, standing on my porch like a ghost from a story I'd already finished writing. No makeup, hair pulled back, hoodie 3 sizes too big. She didn't look like the version of Rachel I remembered. And maybe that was the point. I know you blocked me, she said softly. But I needed to see you. I didn't move. I didn't open the door all the way there. She glanced down at her hands like they could explain something. I'm not here to make excuses, she said. I think you deserve to hear the truth. All of it. You think I haven't already? I asked. Rachel nodded. I was selfish. I wanted a reset without the guilt. Mark made it easy. But I never stopped thinking about you. That's convenient, I said, considering he dropped you. That's dumb. I could see it. But she didn't leave. I didn't come here to win you back. I came here because you were the first person who ever made me feel safe. And I destroyed that. Silence. That word, safe, hit like a nail through glass. You didn't just destroy trust, I said. You killed a version of me that believed in you. That believed love could outwork betrayal. You didn't just hurt me, Rachel. You rewrote me. Tears welled up in her eyes. I'm sorry, Jake. I really am. You were going to propose. And I didn't even notice. That's because you were already somewhere else. She nodded, swallowing hard. I know. And then she reached into her coat pocket and handed me a small envelope. I wrote it down. Everything. No manipulation. No blame. I didn't know how else to say it. I didn't take the envelope. Instead, I said, there's nothing you could write that would make this easier. Closure isn't something I need from you anymore. I found it the day I realized I no longer flinched at your name. She stood there frozen. Then, she turned and walked away. I closed the door. Locked it. And I didn't look back. Epilogue 1 month later. It's been quiet. Rachel didn't try again. But something unexpected happened. I got a call from Hannah. Not about Rachel. But about a job opportunity. A new division in my company was opening, and they needed someone with her exact skill set. Only if it's not weird, she said. I smiled. It's not. It's growth. I also started therapy. Not because I was broken, but because I finally wanted to understand why I loved people who couldn't love me back the same way. The last thing I did? I deleted the last photo I had of Rachel. The one we took the night I almost told her about the proposal. And as I did, I realized the story didn't end when she left me. It ended when I stopped needing her apology to move on.